Let's face it, if you've got a large driveway or garden that you want to cover with a security camera, then the little built-in LEDs that they have just may not cut it in lighting up the whole area. This is where a floodlight camera comes into its own. With one of these cameras, you turn a dark area into a burglar's worst nightmare with nowhere to hide. Hey everyone, my name's Simon and welcome to a new video on Bite of Geek, a channel that focuses on home assistant and smart home technology. Now, I've been testing out the new Reolink Elite Floodlight camera for a while now, putting it through its paces to see how well it actually performs. It's very different from the usual cameras I've reviewed on the channel. It's feature packed but has some standout functionality. Thanks to Reolink for sending me out their new Elite Floodlight camera to review on the channel. As always, they've had no editorial input into this video and you'll get my honest thoughts and opinions about it. Now, floodlight cameras are somewhat of a niche product in the security camera market, it seems, and really for me that's evidenced by the fact that this Reolink camera is the first floodlight camera I've been sent to review on the channel. These types of cameras come into their own, especially when you've got a back garden or driveway you want to monitor, and should do away with the need for a separate PIR-based security light. As this camera has a built-in floodlight, that does mean it's not your regular battery or PoE camera and instead requires wiring directly to your main supply. So before we get into the details of this camera, let's just take a quick look at what's in the box. Inside the box you get everything you need to install the camera, minus just a handful of tools. You get the usual Reolink leaflet pack with window stickers, etc. You get an accessories pack which we'll take a look at in just a minute, and you get the main camera itself with everything already attached. As this is a mains powered device, there's no battery or solar panel connection required. The camera itself is quite a heavy thing and feels well made. The floodlights can be rotated somewhat, and on the front of the camera you've got all the various LEDs, and on the base of it you've got a little cover that unscrews to reveal the micro SD card slot, reset button and a USB-C port. Now you might be wondering why you need a USB-C port on a mains powered camera. Well, you use that for the initial setup process, so you don't have to be messing around when the camera is in position. So you're up on ladders or whatever, you can simply just mount it in place when it's all ready to go. Inside the accessories pack you get a mounting bracket. You also get a wrench for just tightening up the mount on the camera, and you get a pack of mounting screws and wire nuts and things like that, and a USB-C cable. The camera can be mounted in multiple ways, so you have it flat against your wall or under a soffit, as well as having the camera kind of like on top of the floodlight or on the bottom. Whilst this is something a competent DIYer should be able to install, if you are unsure at all about installing this yourself, then it's best to consult a qualified electrician. So in terms of specification then, well, with the Reolink being hardwired to your main supply, there is no need to worry about charging your battery or wondering if it's going to run out of juice while someone is trying to steal your car. It also means that it doesn't need to wake up from a sleep state only to record half of the event, which is what can happen with some battery cameras that don't have a pre-record ability. In terms of recording, well, the Elite Floodlight has a whopping 2 4K cameras. It records up to 20 frames per second for smooth footage, and being a floodlight rather than a spotlight, it has a 3000 lumen lights, of which you can change the warmth of the light to suit maybe your existing lighting. As it's an outdoor camera, it's also rated IP66, and it has a field of view of 180 degrees horizontal by oddly 59 degrees vertical for a nice wide image. In terms of Wi-Fi, well, it's dual band Wi-Fi 6, so it's got 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's got two-way audio, and it's got local storage via a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. You can also link it up to a Reolink hub or MVR, and of course you have cloud storage as an option as well. It features smart AI detection including people, animals and vehicles, and you can tune that to work on size of objects as well. Additionally, there's some nice features for zoning and loitering detection that you can set up to warn people off before they get too close. And in terms of smart home integration, it currently supports Google Home and Home Assistant either directly or via the Reolink hub. Setting up the camera is very easy. I've already got the Reolink app installed, so it's just a case of adding a new camera, scanning the QR code on the base of the floodlight and setting my Wi-Fi details, and then it's ready to be installed. This camera can be used standalone or with a Reolink Home Hub or MVR. Adding it to the hub is easy, and I have a review of the hub on the channel. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this one. Now, as I've mentioned in recent reviews, the Reolink mobile app is way better than what it was years ago. I find it quite easy to do what I need to do nowadays, and it has lots of functionality that sets it apart from other brands. You also have a PC application available should you want to interact with your cameras on a larger screen. For the camera alone, you have various settings such as AI motion detection for objects, their size and sensitivity of detection as well. You've got the usual settings for what is displayed on the video footage. You've got sounds setting, you've got floodlight settings, so you can change the brightness and color, the temperature, whether you want the floodlight always on at night, on a timer, or only when it detects certain things. You can turn off and on the status light as well, so maybe you want your camera to be slightly stealth when it's in position. And then you've got things like your push notifications, email alerts, and the siren. And if you want to download footage to a NAS, then you've got an FTP option as well. There's also an option of a time lapse, and I'll come to that in just a moment. I'm just going to go through some daytime and nighttime footage that I've recorded, but first I've got to mention that the quality of the footage is really very good, nice and crisp with very accurate colours. So to start with, I've got my usual eye test chart footage, and as you can see, this is very readable even at a distance. Now, something worth pointing out with a camera, as it's two lenses with footage stitched together, you can sometimes see the join. In this footage, I've stood slightly to the side of the center line, and I think everything looks fine right up to the last second. However, the following clip shows me more central to the camera, and as you can see, as I get closer, the eye chart starts to split a little. So just something to bear in mind when you're viewing back recordings. Next up, I've got some evening footage, and it's not fully dark outside when I recorded this, but dark enough to show how effective the floodlights are on this camera. As you can see, as I walk into view, they come on very bright, and that's on a setting of 9 out of 10, so not even at 100%. If I just turn around, then you'll see how well it lights up the rest of the garden behind me. As you can see, it's all in full colour, and the quality is really good given the lighting levels at those times. Next up, we've got some of the notification testing, and in doing this, I'm trying to see how quickly the camera picks me up. In testing, I found this to be excellent when walking at a slow speed, so maybe someone creeping around your garden, and I got notified very early on. When I tried moving quickly across the camera, then the camera picked me up with a notification, but it was just a little later on overall. Now, just as on the Reolink Altus camera that I reviewed on the channel recently, the Elite Floodlight has a time-lapse mode on it. Not a common feature on a security camera, and not something you would really use every day. However, it's a nice feature to have. I didn't try it out this time around, but if you want to see my terrible attempt to record a time lapse with the Reolink Altus, then I'll pop a link to that video in the description of this one. In terms of smart home integration, the Reolink Elite Floodlight currently works with Google Home and Home Assistant either directly or via a Reolink hub. Now, as the Reolink integration in Home Assistant is a platinum level integration, then as you'd expect, you do get a lot of information available to you. Controls for the floodlights and the siren, sensors for the various object detection, and you can quite easily set up automations around all of that. And there's a whole bunch more options available, pretty much the same as what you would see in the Reolink app. It's also very easy to set up dashboards playing your video feed as well, you know, if you want to do that kind of thing. Now, this camera supports dual band Wi-Fi 6, so if your 2.4 gigahertz band is getting quite congested with other smart devices, then you have the option of connecting it to the 5 gigahertz band. I installed it onto my 2.4 gigahertz band and had no issues with the streaming, even when my mobile phone dropped off the Wi-Fi onto a 4G connection. Obviously, everyone's setup is different, so you need to take location and range into consideration. My access point is at the front of the house and the camera is located at the back of the house, so the signal has had to go through quite a few solid walls, hence the choice of using the 2.4 gigahertz band. You can pick up the Reolink Elite Floodlight for £169.99 if you want to connect to a Reolink hub for up to 2 terabytes of additional storage. Then they start at just £99.99, but they are completely optional. I'll have links in the description if you're interested in picking up one of these cameras, whilst Reolink have their offers on at the moment. So what did I think of the Reolink Elite Floodlight then? Well, to put it simply, it's a really good camera and you should buy it, especially if you're thinking of buying or replacing a standard floodlight for your garden or driveway, and you're also after a camera as well. It's well built, the quality of the footage is fantastic, and those floodlights are blindingly bright. It's very straightforward to set up and has excellent integration with Home Assistant if that is something that is important to you. Of course, as it's a mains powered camera, that means you get to capture events without delay and potentially missing what's happening right in front of the camera. In an imminent update, there will be an AI search capability so that you'll just be able to type in, for example, man in blue shirt, and then you'll get back the relevant results, which saves having to click around through all the events on your camera timeline. I don't really have any serious grumbles with this camera. There is the obvious omission of Alexa integration, currently in the list of smart home systems, and if that is important to you, then it's something to think about. The zoning and loitering alerts aren't currently available via the hub or MVR, but I'm sure that will come very soon. But other than that, this is a really solid floodlight camera. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new Reolink Elite Floodlight, or if you have any questions about it, drop them down below and I'll try and answer them for you. But if you've enjoyed the video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help with YouTube's algorithm and means others get to see this video. But as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.